I really welcome everyone here, and uh, everyone knows my story, so I'm not going to spill that. And any questions or comments or anything anyone would like to talk about before we start, please. There's so few of us, which is great. Anything at all, please.
I have a question.
Please, Mike.
Uh, for example, if I'm cutting some food and the knife
Just a
slips
time.
and it touches my hand or my finger, but it doesn't cut it, and I go, "Thank God."
Yes.
Now, does God really have anything to do with that?
Yes. I believe it has to do with all things. And then, you know, oftentimes we're literally saved by the grace of what I refer to as God.
Okay.
And we live within it. We live with it, not within it, because that's like a separation, but we live with it. And our mind is in the mind of that divinity, that godliness, if that makes sense.
Sure. It reminds me of let go and let God. So let go of the stuff inside my head and just relax and take a deep breath and
Yeah.
live in the moment.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's a dilemma, drama, or trauma, or a resistance in some way of those natures. And the idea is to perceive, the grace that's given to us during those moments of what we call miracles or whatever. We have them all the time, but it's recognizing it. And when we don't recognize it all the time, that's when we come into, or when we're in the throes of uh, of living in that grace or focus. Focus is great, allows grace to come through. And so when we're not, then we have the resistances, the reactions of things. We live with those things in mind and, in our life, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's recognizing, it's getting down to the basic fact. Beyond our conception, our mind is in its mind. And there's so much more to that story that as we delve into it through our heart of wanting to know, that's when we find the grace of things happening in our life more often. Does that almost make sense, Mike?
Well, I kind of look at it most of the time. My mind is filled with my ego looking for security. What's going on here? What do I got to do? What's this? What's that? But I kind of don't play into that too much anymore. And it's more like, when I open my heart and care about something more than I do myself, or care about myself in a good way, that caring informs my thinking.
Yes.
And that's how to like be patient with myself, and like I said, just take a deep breath and appreciate and be grateful and enjoy the moment.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that's a step forward into that mind.
All
And
right.
it's learning how to accept it in our way. Everyone has a different way. Our conversations, our interactions, they're mostly, unbeknownst to us, they're mostly resistances, our thoughts of others, others' thoughts of us, and how we perceive of it, or even perceive in the fields that emanate and affect us. And it's just all kinds of, situations where those are resistances, and those are also the sorrows that we carry. But if we can go more to the source and recognizing we're living with it, our mind blended in its mind, then we find less of the resistance, less of the dilemma in our life. And then the thought is clean and clear. Our thought is clean and clear. But it's most difficult to do that because we've been brought up in the world and we're living in the world.
You know, we're educated to compete against everybody else. The person gets the best grades will get in the best school, get the best job, will make the most money,
Or the
buy the
sports,
most
or
toys, and
just
then you'll be
all
happy.
kinds of things. Sure, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But it's recognizing it when we're having that moment
Sure.
of that resistance and catching ourselves in that moment and wondering, what would it be like if I wasn't in this resistance, or having that thought of competition or wanting to belong. Most things are in our life are portrayed in wanting to belong. And our actions and interactions and reactions.
Yeah. Judging ourselves and everybody else.
That's a part of it, yes. And we're doing that more often than we realize even. Oh, look at that woman in that dress. It looks funny on her. I wonder what she's like. You know, those kinds of things. You know, they're really just distractions from knowing ourselves.
Okay.
Cool. Any other comments or questions I can try to answer? Please.
Judging ourselves and everybody.
It's interesting that Mike brought this topic up, because this is exactly what I wanted to talk about. I had found myself, thinking of you these last few days and thinking of you, Mark. And it's like, what is it that I want to talk to him about, And I thought, well, in the past, I know I've expressed to you, I just want to be closer to God. I want to be closer to the creator of the universe. And you always
Yes.
say, Myrna, you are the universe. You are him. He is you, or, and I said, yeah. And I asked myself, why do I, why is it that I feel like I'm not close enough? And it's like what Mike is saying, what you were trying to convey to him is that probably because of all the harsh experiences I've had in my earlier life, I've built up these walls. And it's these walls that are keeping me from me feeling more connected to the universe within me. So I know the universe is in me and I am in the universe, but why am I a little bit numb about it? Why do I feel like I still, and I thought, oh, this is what I wanted to talk to Mark about. It's how do I bring, like you were talking about, is these belief systems, these judgments, we're, like Mike was saying, we're brought up in school to compete and to be better and to,
Sure.
Yeah. These are all these walls we've put up,
Right.
And it's like, how can we just, and you were beginning to say, the more aware we are of what we're doing.
Yeah, it just takes, yeah, exactly. And it only takes one little moment of a second. And in order to recognize, oh, I feel awkward. Why do I feel awkward? And then we look at it, then we're indifferent, not in a cold way, but we're indifferent objectively and observantly. We're wondering in that moment. In that moment of wondering is when we're blending earth and heaven. And there's no existence of spirituality in human beings unless there's a blending of earth and heaven. You can't have spirituality. That's the true spiritual experience, is blending them both. And that takes objectivity and being observant. And that's when that space is open, when we're of that nature. And all those other things drop away. So the next time that we feel awkward about something, or someone says something to us in front of our face, or we hear a rumor, or we're looking at someone and judging them, or they're judging us, excuse me, then we can, if we can control ourselves by recognizing it, that's all control is, by recognition, then it breaks for that moment. And then even the next time, that begins to form a pattern in us, just like the other dynamics of life form patterns. This forms a pattern as we recognize it, and it kind of dissipates the older patterns of that venue, if that makes sense.
Totally. totally makes sense.
And that's what it takes. That's blending earth and heaven. We're here for a purpose. And that's just to get to know ourselves. The whole purpose of that is to get to know ourselves. There's no other rhyme or reason for us being here.
It's kind of funny, like we forget who we are to come here to remember who we are. Truly. Sure. It's like,
yeah. Welcome, Ruth.
Thank you. It was a hassle.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And so, we get to find these things out as we practice them. And we think, oh, what he's talking about is totally impossible to do, but it's just one moment. And then it's like I always tell everyone, a taste of honey returns the bee. So if we have a little moment of it, that means there's a memory of that within us. And we've all had these moments, but if we can remember that we had a moment, and if you want to experience another moment, tell yourself inside, tell the divinity that, okay, I'd like to have this again. Show me or tell me, help me understand myself a little bit. Then you'll see within a very short time or a little bit later that it will pop up. You may or may not remember that you asked for it, but it will pop up. All right, there's 2 Sherry Hoffmans here now.
Yeah, you know what? I can't.
All right, there's, yeah, you're going to have to.
My phone. Wait, let me get out of here. I'm sorry. I can't do, it's not working. It's just my internet just keeps crashing all the time.
All right, do you want to go into the other one, Sherry? Because we can't
I'm trying to do the one on my.
All right. All right, so I hope that almost answers the questions that we're talking about, or the statements or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone have any conflicting views or other opinions or questions or comments? Please. Anyone?
I will be happy to see the replay because I've just lost like all of this beautiful conversation.
It'll be on the recording, so
thank you.
About it.
Thank you.
All right. Now, any other questions or comments, please, anything before we start here? I can try to answer. Anything more, Myrna?
No, you expanded on that very well, and it's good. It's good. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, Samantha?
Yeah, probably just a comment on kind of the same topic. When somebody was saying about having the feeling about wanting to be closer to God, and I kind of feel like that seems to happen to me through my artwork, and it's happening more and more as I guess I'm going to put in quotation marks, growing in my journey. It seems to be happening more and more. My desire to want to do the artwork, and then more messages coming through while I'm doing artwork. I don't know if I'm being articulate about this.
Yes.
But I'm kind of discovering and figuring it out, and I'm amazed at just how much the art is helping as a tool. It's like a tool that's kind of helping me along.
Oh, most definitely. And it is a tool. It's an area of focus.
Okay.
And that's what's initiating it. That's how that divinity expresses through you, is through the focus. And that's how it expresses through everyone or anyone, is through the focus. It's, as I always say, it's always in the shower or doing dishes that we have our aha moments. that
Yeah.
allows room for that focus. And we have the intent when we're in the process of focus.
Mhm.
Rather, we have an intent of, oh, okay, I'm focusing, so I'm going to picture God communicating with me. Doesn't work like that. It's when we're in the focus with that open space
Okay.
of not knowing, that's when it comes through.
Yes, and for me, what I've noticed, since I teach children's classes, they're chaotic and hectic. But it's funny when I'm teaching the kids classes, obviously I'm focused on them and they take a lot of your energy, but I get these ideas. Oh, when I get a chance to do my artwork, this is what I'm going to do. So that
Yes.
comes through when I'm teaching the kids.
Yeah. And it's having the focus without other conversations going on or,
Mhm.
distractions or planning or thinking. It comes without the thinking.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
It is. It is. The greater we're able to focus, the greater the intent of even potential future manifestation of some sort.
Okay.
And that's what everything works through is the focus. Then comes the intent of what you're doing, and as you're focusing on that,
Mhm.
that leaves that space to be open for perception and reception.
Okay.
Reception within you,
Mhm.
everyone. And some people have art, some people have crafts, some people they like showers all day long, whatever, I guess. I don't know. I'm making that up. But
Or when
whatever
you're
we're
going
doing,
for a walk or something,
yeah,
right?
enjoying,
Out in nature.
yeah, enjoying the nature.
Mhm.
Yes. Anything in particular you'd like me to work with, Sam? How's your back?
Oh, not great. There's good days and not such great days.
Okay.
But if you don't mind, I would prefer to work on what we did last week, if you kind of remember, or it was kind of personal, so I put it in chat. Do you want me to just write it real quick for you in chat?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Please.
I didn't expect you to remember, but I just thought I'd ask.
I resemble that remark.
I want to make sure I just put it to you.
All right. And we are waiting.
Okay, I sent it.
All right, got it. Let me work with that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you got it.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
And please do keep me updated, though. Please.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Hey, Mike, anything in particular you'd like me to work with, my friend?
Just give me a general blessing if that's okay.
I would love to.
Thank you.
How are your knees?
Uh, as long as I exercise them, well, actually, I got a shot in the right one,
Uh-huh.
and that's supposed to have worse arthritis than the left, and that feels like 98% healthy. The
Cool.
left one, they said maybe I got a torn meniscus probably. But
Okay.
if I do a little bit of exercising and stuff and keep up with that, it feels doesn't, it feels good. I can do whatever I really
Okay.
need to do with it.
All right. Now, if you do, y- this is what I know is that if you do a resistance exercise with the knee that has a torn meniscus, I only know the word because you said it. And if you do a resistance with it in certain, rotation of some kind, then that will strengthen the muscle for that little tear to heal.
You told me when I first had the injury that I had little tears in my muscles. And
Yes.
I'm wondering if those have healed to a certain extent, at least, or completely or whatever.
Mhm.
And, sometimes I think it bothers me a little, but I guess over time it just, it,
Yeah.
it's all right.
Yeah, the tears are knitting together, and that's why it's less and less. But um, if you can do a resistance exercise, that will stimulate the blood flow and the growth in there.
I do resistance. I do a seated
Good.
leg press squat. But what
Perfect.
really helps along with that is because,
Yeah.
I box. So I use the treadmill and do side steps and
Sure.
turns and stuff. And when I boxed, I don't like hitting people. I just like making them miss. Anyways, I'm
Okay.
not supposed to box. I'm sorry I mentioned that.
All right. All right. So, all right. Please do keep me updated.
Okay,
Uh, I appreciate that and what we just did. And I'm going to work a little bit with the knee, though.
thank you.
Okay, my friend.
Thank you.
Sure. Sherry, anything in particular you'd like me to work with, hon?
Hey, can you hear me okay?
I sure can.
Oh, good. Okay, because I've never done this with a phone. So, yes, please. I've had a headache, Mark, for all day yesterday and most of today, and a
Is
kind
it
of a stinging
okay?
sensation around my heart. I don't, and
Or so
I'm not analyzing what it is. It's just been there for almost 2 days now.
okay. Now, with the headache, is it a pressure or is it a pain or a pounding?
Um, it's like it's like heat. It's a heat pressure.
Oh, okay.
It's
All right.
not, it doesn't pound at
Uh,
all. It's
All right,
just
that's
this
fine.
constant thing.
bright light in my eyes there. I'm curious, do you feel a sensation in your head now that's getting a little more intense?
Yes, I am feeling it around my eyes too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did something just happen?
Yeah, my eyes are all melted. But my heart is still stinging.
I'm not
It's like,
working with your heart right now.
oh, okay, you're working with my head. I'm okay. It's lightening, Mark. It's light. It's like it's dissipating. Yeah.
Move your head around a little bit and tell me if you notice a difference in how it feels.
Yeah, it's much less. It's like my eyes are burning a little bit,
Okay.
but the head pain is much less.
Excellent. Now you may get little spurts of that,
Mhm.
but if you do, walk away from that sense and get busy doing something else.
Mhm.
And every time you think about it or wonder about it, it'll come back. So
Yes. Oh, thank you for telling me that. Oh, I love it.
how does your heart feel now? Be candid.
It's not stinging anymore.
All right.
It's all beautiful, fine, melted. I don't feel it. Mhm.
Okay, let's see what happens, what transpires from this.
Okay.
All right. And please do keep in mind, everyone, that these are what I refer to, what other people refer to as quickie healings. It might last 5 minutes or for the rest of your life. And so I never
Yeah.
know. All right, good. But it'll be a like a background, a moment of remembrance to break patterns for later. So
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
sure. Myrna,
Hmm.
did
Thank
I work?
you.
I didn't work with you just now, did I? Earlier.
No,
Okay, good.
no,
Sorry.
no,
There's the short-term memory. All
no,
my
no,
life.
no. I I would like it very much if you could assist my pineal gland and my pituitary gland to be friends, communicate, and work good together.
Let me ask a blessing on you. Or work with the healing. Also, do you feel that you're having thyroid problems?
Yes.
All right. All right, my dear. And keep in mind that I'll be seeing people in Arizona from the 1st to the 19th or 20th.
I have a feeling I'll be seeing you too.
All right, hon.
Thank you.
All right. Ruth, my friend.
Hi, Mark.
Hi.
Um, I have been wearing orthotics inside my sneakers for the past 6 to 7 months or so. And all of a sudden, I have a pain in my left foot on one toe in particular. And I went to the podiatrist and she said, "Oh, your tendon is getting shorter and that affecting that toe. So you're walking on the tip of the toe. So the toe's kind of curling up." I'm like, "What the hell?" I said, "What is this?" Um, and so she said she wanted me to wear sneakers around the house instead of slippers because that's not enough support for my skinny little feet. And so I'm doing that. And every once in a while, the toe's still hurting. And it's like, no, cut that out. So I've ditched the orthotics. I've ditched that sneaker because she made them so large because to fit all my toes that I'm in a 10.5 sneaker instead of a 9. I mean,
Oh my
maybe
God.
it should be a 9.5, but I'm tripping over them because I'm not used to that. I feel like I've got clown shoes on, you know?
All right. Let me work with my right, your left.
Yes. I had to think about that.
All right, hon. Let's see if we can help this here. There.
Thank you.
Keep me updated, please. I appreciate it.
Mhm.
All right, cool. Nini, anything in particular, my dear?
Oh, hi, Mark. Thank you for the prayer she did on my friend last week. Her
Yes.
surgery went well. She went home the next day
Yes.
and she's fine now. Thank you so much.
Oh, excellent.
Today, I just need your blessings.
You got
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
All right, my dear.
Thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure. You know, everything that we experience or run into in life or happens to us in life, it's in my perspective, as simple as I am, in my perspective, it's literally created for us because we were attracted to it in the first place, because we were set up for it. Any experience that we have, whether it be creative or destructive, it doesn't matter. We wouldn't have had that experience unless either we were at the right time or right place, with the right situation, with the right people, as destructive as it might have been or creative as it might have been. And all those moments are like setups for us to finally recognize ourselves, to get over something, the cause for getting into something. I hope that makes sense. It came to me just to express.
It
Please,
does.
I'm sorry? Does it make sense, Myrna?
Yeah, it does. Very much so. I was just reading about that actually too, how we we are experiencing exactly what our soul requires so that we can evolve or work
Exactly.
out whatever it is that we wanted to do in this experience. And so I reflect a lot on my thyroid because it's speaking. And that's one of my number one
Dilemmas.
challenge has been to advocate for myself to speak up.
Yeah.
So I'm still working on it, even this
Yeah.
later in life. I'm working on making progress, but obviously I'm still working on it. So
Yeah.
makes
And
sense.
working on it, instead of trying to crash the gates of heaven and get this, whatever, I got to have this done, God, I want to do exercises for this. I want to do whatever. It's the idea, as we find our freedom to express ourselves, that's what takes care of that. Often there still might be a dilemma that's already been experienced or initiated with the thyroid, but that can even be taken care of, where it won't create any more problems because you've taken care of the problem. You've taken care of the destructive self, your small self, where you're no longer a bother to you. You've overcome the resistances of life. Does that almost make sense?
It does. It kind of feels like it's a puzzle for me.
Well, yeah, I don't dwell on the puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
What I dwell on is, how do I find my freedom to allow the expression? And I have to work at it too, just like anyone else.
I'm kind of thinking that everything that's going on in my life now are gifts that are being given to me. And
Yes.
it depends on if I'm able to appreciate that and I don't and see the good in it.
Yeah.
And
And it's carrying the appreciation within you instead of like going to a tree and hugging it and staying there saying, come on, tree, give me more, give me more. It's appreciating it and knowing that it's within us, all the gifts. All the gifts blend together into us. And it's just waiting to be discovered through being objective and observant and seeing what's real in our life. And if it feels awkward or feels insulting or feels hurtful or feels sorrowful, asking yourself, why does this feel this way for me? What am I not seeing in my life? And as soon as you ask that, that's what begins the initiation of it to cleanse, when we no longer have to carry that.
It's how I relate to everything that's going on.
Yeah,
And am I doing it in a healthy, grateful way, an appreciative way, and a caring way, or am I analyzing it all and trying to?
yeah, and that analyzation just keeps it going,
Right.
and it takes us into other venues of destruction.
Yes.
To
And it
analyze
doesn't
it.
allow me to appreciate the moment.
Exactly. They're distractions,
Yeah.
always having distractions. And that's the toughest thing in the world to recognize, are the distractions in our lives, of the way we feel, the sorrows, the hurts, the insults, the control issues. They're very, very difficult to recognize within ourselves. But if we do it once, then we're able to do it the next time, because the seed is planted. And then if we do it enough times, just for moments, and if we do it enough times, then we find that it gets easier, because a new pattern is dissipating the old pattern. A greater pattern is coming into us and coming forth from us in our life, and to minds as well. Cool. Cool. How you doing, Sam?
I'm okay.
All
Thank
right.
you. I was just thinking that when you post things sometimes like on Facebook, it's always like at the exact right time of what I needed to hear.
Me too. So
And
I hear you. I hear you.
I
And
think sometimes I'll reply to you saying that, but it's just so funny.
yeah, everything I've ever worked with another person also pertains to me,
Okay.
or else I wouldn't be able to identify with it.
But that's a lot because you work with a lot of people.
Yeah, about 35 to 45,000 people. Yeah,
Wow.
25 to 35,000, something like that. But it either has been, is, or potentially will be. And
Okay.
as long as I recognize it within myself,
Mhm.
there's similarities. No escaping it.
Okay.
And after all, it's written, or excuse me, what I've learned, either in experience or through my teachers, etc., that, we've been here hundreds of thousands of times, and we're going to be here hundreds of thousands of times. So we carry that experience within us and the understandings of things, or else we wouldn't be able to comprehend.
Mhm.
So it's always about us in reality. Myrna, how you feeling? How you doing?
That pressure has eased that I had here. Has
Excellent.
eased, so I don't have it. Yeah.
Good.
Thank
Let's see
you.
if it maintains or what's needed or whatever. Ruth, how's your foot doing? Your left foot?
It feels a lot better, Mark.
Good. All right, good, hon. And Sherry, how you doing?
Pretty melty. All the stingy stuff is gone. Thank you.
All right, how's your head?
Good. No pain.
Good.
Thank
Excellent.
you. Oh my goodness.
All right.
Mm.
Any other final questions or comments, please? With anything I could try to answer? Anything? Ruth, anything?
Yeah, my husband's having surgery on the 29th of November. He's having his prostate removed. So
Okay.
if
Gladly.
help him out with, yes, thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Mark.
It was a healing and a blessing. Good.
Thank you. I'm sure both are very much appreciated.
Same here. All right. Anything else, anyone, please? Anything I can try to answer? All right.
Hey, Mark,
Yeah.
after all the billionaire companies destroy the world, where's our spirit gonna go? Okay, you don't have to answer.
It doesn't matter.
All right. Any other questions or comments? All right. Good question, though, Mike. Good question. Blessings, everyone, and thank you so much.
Oh, bless you too, Mark, and thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Bless you.
you,
Bless
Mark.
you.
Safe travel.
Thank you.
Good evening. Bye.
Bye.